Hey everybody, this is Brian. Welcome to Chiller Night Live. We're from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 o'clock. That's right. We'll talk about all things horror, science fiction, the paranormal, anything you chiller maniacs want to throw at me, we'll make a show out of. So we'll give it a good honest effort. Anyways, Stephanie says, hey y'all. Hey Stephanie, thanks for joining us. And we actually have a topic for tonight. I don't know if any of you recall, but last week at the end of the episode, it was asked that the topic be movies with haunted houses in them. Okay, so that's what we'll talk about tonight. And I'll just put up an image of a movie that has a haunted house in it, just to kind of get the thing kick-started a little bit. So, hope everybody had a good week. Hope you did. Hope you did. I've had a good and busy week here. Lower this a little bit. All right, so I can see a little bit more of the screen. And, yep, tonight we'll be talking about haunted houses in horror movies. Do you have any favorites? Have you watched any at all? So, we'll be talking about those tonight. And like any other week, if you have any other topic you want to throw out there, doesn't have to be this topic exclusively. This is just something we do have listed, and we'll make do with that. So, but don't forget, 9 o'clock every Saturday night on Stream TV. Chiller Night Theater, hosted by the one and only Jack Shadow, and occasionally by myself as a stand-in, just to keep the show alive there, give it a keep the pulse going when it was we couldn't really get Jack Shadow to be available. So Dee says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dee. Thanks for joining us. Bonehead says, hello. Hey, Bonehead, thanks for joining us. Bonehead's on Facebook tonight. Ah, interesting. All right, and for those of you, if you're new on here, maybe you're not even watching this live and you're new, because I get comments like, oh, hey, first time viewer, just found this channel. Throughout the week, I get messages like that. So whether you're watching this live or later, hit the like and subscribe. I need to remind myself to say that stuff because I am on social media, so I'm trying to push something here. Bonehead says, I'm going over to YouTube now, Brian. Oh, great. We'll see ya. We'll see ya. SBC says, hello, Stephanie and Dee. Hey, SBC, thanks for joining us. So yes, Chiller Night Theaters at 9 o'clock every Saturday night. And there's 4 episodes back to back every Saturday night. So now I'm hoping to have new episodes by this fall. So that's the goal. I'm working so hard on trying to get this haunted house and display haunt up and running. So it's going to be a challenge. I'll just say that right now. But we have an episode that was actually written by SBC. So I really want to get, and thank you SBC for doing that. I was kind of keeping things on the down low because I didn't know for sure if we're going to be able to have new episodes. I'm going to try like crazy to do that. But I'm dealing with a lot of stuff in this haunted house to prepare it for a year-round haunted attraction, to make it with the electronics and stuff like that. I'm unfamiliar with a lot of this stuff. So that's what's happening there. Victor says, what's up, Brian? Hey, Victor, thanks for joining us. Dee says, I love House on Haunted Hill, both 1959 in color and the 1999 remake. Second choice. Ah, okay. Now, I thought about that as well. I do have a list that I pulled up a top 10 greatest horror movies with haunted houses in them. and I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one listed. Maybe it's because there was a lot of theatrics and trickery involved in that one. Maybe they didn't consider that an actual supernatural occurrence. But yeah, that's a absolutely fantastic movie. Bonin says, I'm here now, Brian. Usually I don't know where I'm at. LOL. Hey, hello, ChillerNight crew and Brian and Miss Ava and the sweetheart of screams, the lovely ladies of the ChillerNight crew. Howdyins. Hey, Bonehead. Bonehead is back with us. He was briefly in transition between Facebook and YouTube, but now he's on YouTube. So thank you for joining us again. So, and we'll have to figure something out, because as October approaches, will we be able to do something on a Tuesday night? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know yet. I've never done this before, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this is going to work. All I can, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what this display haunt is going to be like. I don't. That's going to be on a night that's not a regular haunted house night for me. So we will see. Jason says, "Ghoul evening, my fellow ghouls, and to our esteemed and ghoulish host Brian." Ah, thank you, Jason, for joining us. SBC says, "It is a great honor for me to have written something for Jack and you." Ah, yeah, and I haven't had a chance to thoroughly look at it. I was actually on a ladder when I checked my email on my phone, and I was stringing up wires and cables and stuff. So, but I was scrolling through it, and I thought that looked very well. So I was very happy to see that. You did a very good job with breaking up the segments. I may have to, if I have to put a little bit of a personality into it, like, there may be a little bit of modifications, maybe not, I don't know. I haven't read it for word for word, but if I do that, just know that I appreciate you just giving me what you did, because that's so much help for me, because I don't have time to do. I did quite a bit of it, but there was that's just bonus, and that helps me out a great amount. John says, the following program was not intended for mature watchers. Okay. Who have no interest in horror, sci-fi, fantasy, and adventure films. And now it's time again for Tuesday night episode of ChillerNight Live. This is your unofficial announcer, Crozak the Grand. And now here is our official host, creator, and a very close friend to Jack Shadow. Here's Bryan Hogue. Thank you, Crozak the Grand. And John, who's waving. Stephanie says, "Oh, hi, Bones. I just saw The Black Cat, 1941. It was awesome." Cool. Very cool. Bones says, "If I'm in transition, I like that phrase, Brian. I got to start using it somehow. I'm in transition from being idiotic to just being annoying." That worked, didn't it, Brian? Sure. See, now, yeah, there you go. Jason says, Hell House LLC and its 2 sequels and 1 prequel are very good. Very, very good found footage haunted house movies. Oh, okay. Yeah, those are kind of cool, huh? The Blair Witch Project kind of made that a pretty popular thing. But it says, hello, SBCD, Jason and Miss Stephanie Press. Jennifer says, hey, Jennifer Sadler says, glad you're still doing it. Jennifer is on here, and she was the author of, do I have one of the books handy? I don't know if I have one right here with me, but the Jack Shadow book. The Spirit of Halloween book. Jennifer was the author, so appreciate you being on here. Thank you for joining us. We are graced with your presence here tonight, Jennifer, and I'm glad you're glad that I'm still doing this. Yes, I am still doing this. I'm trying anyway, so definitely doing the haunted houses. I have escape rooms going on, and of course we have, all right, folks, this is the first time, other than I posted it on Facebook, but you all know that. Let's see, let me get rid of the Amityville. There is the official poster for this year's Jack Shadow's House of Terror. So there it is, and you can see by the calendar, it's going to be full of days of evenings of operation, and I'll have my Sundays off, and I'll probably just be, enjoying The Walking Dead. That I will. So, let's see. Bunny says, how's the skull today? D says, James Wan does fantastic suspenseful horror movies. The Conjuring is great. That was on the list. I have a list here, and that I do remember was on the list. Stephanie says, cool. D says, love it. Thank you, thank you. Nice poster, SBC says. Very cool. Now here's one. Now this is going to be on the billboards on the roadside. So figure, when you're driving the speed limit, hopefully all of you, but no, as you're driving, there's only so much you really put on a billboard. So we didn't go with the calendar, nothing like that, dates and times. We put the Cranberry Mall, ChillerNight.com, and then of course you can go to the website, and that will have all that information on it as we get a little closer. But it is coming up. We got about 6 weeks to go, and yeah, I don't know. I will be ready. I mean, I will be. I always am, whether I'm in question of that or not. But I really wanted to. I do want to have new episodes of Chiller Night Theater as well. So we'll see how that goes. I'd like to get at least 8 or 9 of them. So we'll get like a string of them. A limited time. Maybe I'll just do that every year. Maybe I'll just have new Chiller Night Theater episodes around like September and October. Maybe I'll do that. It's better than nothing, I think. Jason says, Secret Wars, great comic. Yeah, remember that? That was, it was a pretty neat story. Bonus says, well, SVC, I gave myself a haircut today, and unfortunately I cut off my beard and mustache along with my hair. I truly could screw up anything. Did you mean to do that? You say, unfortunately. D says, I want that as a wall mural in my movie room. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Yeah. That's a small condensed file, too. I mean, the big one is so big and bright. It is so cool. I can't wait. And Patty sent me something in the mail, so I'm going to wait and see if she shows up to join us tonight. Hopefully she does. Look and see if I had a copy of Chiller Night Spirit Halloween in my desk here. I was going to show that, and I don't know if Jennifer's still here with us, but that was really cool. Very cool. It came out in 2015. 2015, 10 years ago. Can you believe that? That was supposed to be, it was intended to be like a chain of books, kind of like Goosebumps in a way. I mean, just like a chain of books, the Chiller Night books. And that was the first of them, first and only as of this point. I wanted to do more, but I can't really justify it until I sell the first one, so we'll see. SPC says, Halloween is the best time for chiller movies. That it is. DJ Dave says, hey, Dave Davis, hey, thanks for joining us there. Good seeing you the other day. Tracy says, hello, sir. Hello, Tracy. Thanks for joining us. Bonus says, I endorse Chiller Night Theater in Jerome, Weiselberry on YouTube. The 3 best shows on here, along with Danger, Justin Nunley. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Bonehead. SBC says, Bonehead, Dory worry, they grow back. Just be careful when shaving your neck. Don't worry. Oh, don't worry. D-A-N-T. Okay, I know what you mean. Don't worry. They grow back. D says, Halloween is the best time of the year. Yes, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Dave says, finishing up on the last plaques for the day. LOL. Dave does some very good woodwork. So, does a lot of it too. Well, that's cool. You're finishing up for the day. Now just relax and rest the rest of the evening, Dave. Let's see. All right, so tonight's theme, once again, is horror movies with haunted houses. Get a little bigger. Okay, now I have 10 greatest. This is WatchMojo.com. This is their list. Okay, this is their list of their best 10 horror movies with haunted houses, featuring haunted houses or haunted house theme. However you want to look at it. Their number 10 is The Others from 2001, boasting a great turn by Nicole Kidman and the atmosphere of despair. The Others is a stylish thriller. Blah, blah, blah. I won't read all these synopses because some of them are kind of lengthy, and we just want to know the movie and the year, maybe a little, 1 or 2 little things. Number 9 for WatchMojo.com's list here is The Haunting 1963. Based on Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. Okay, jumping a little ahead, see if there was anything more to mention there. Number 8, A Tale of Two Sisters, 2003. I've not seen this one. It's a South Korean horror masterpiece that does not skimp out on the twists. A Tale of Two Sisters is the complete package. I've not seen that one. Now, number 7, and then I'll check the comments here. Ghostwatch 1992, a mockumentary crafted to resemble a live broadcast. Ghostwatch was mistakenly believed to be real by some viewers, prompting BBC to never air it again. Really? That's cool. That's neat when people actually take it seriously like that. They think it's actually real. That gives credit to the people who made it. Okay, very cool. That was number 7. So we'll go back to the chat, see what's going on with the chat, and we'll go back to the list. PBR is with us, giving us the weekly wave. The weekly wave. That's what I'm going to call it. So thanks for joining us, PBR. Let's see. Tracy said, just had pumpkin spice. Oh, you're really getting into the mood of it, huh? D says, my kiddo's birthdays as well. That's right, you did mention that. I remember you mentioning that last year. Yeah. Tracy said, pumpkin spice Starbucks coffee. Oh, okay, all right. SPC says, this reminds me of why I no longer use the knife for shaving. I stood behind the door using the mirror, and my brother opened the door. No! D says, Ghostwatch is wild. See, I've not seen that one. I've not seen that. But that's cool that D has seen it. Maybe some of you have seen it. Bonus says, no, seriously, SBC, every time I try to give myself a haircut or trim my beard or mustache, I end up with it lopsided. And in the course of evening, I have it up and I have to shave it all off. That does happen. Leave it to the professionals. Says I, who cut my hair for about 5 years, you know, starting with COVID. And it just recently, in May of this year, actually went and got it cut again. All that time I was just cutting it myself. But it says, I don't claim to to have done a good job. I just claim to have done it. Stephanie says, I've seen the 1960s The Haunting movie. Ah, okay. Bonus says, oh, he's saying hello to some folks there. PBR Street Gang, Tracy Lee. All right, so let's go. Okay, number 6. Number 6. The Changeling, 1980. In many ways, The Changeling is the archetypical haunted house movie. Interestingly, the 1980 classic does not necessarily do anything all that unique. It mostly tells a straightforward tale of a vengeful spirit. But the film gets by on confident direction and a central mansion that excludes Victorian class, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I will say, we will have in the lineup of movies for ChillerNight Theater this Halloween season. I'm just going to call September and October Halloween season. There will be at least one that has the theme of a haunted house. Number 5 is Hausu, 1977. Hausu. H-A-U-S-U. I don't know what that's about. I've never seen it. In a subgenre known for adhering to convention, Hausu stands out as a bizarre fever dream of a movie. A group of teen girls decide to spend the summer at a house that happens to be all types of insane, where even watermelons and pianos cannot be trusted. I never did trust watermelons particularly. I will say that. I'll say that publicly tonight. More of a pumpkin guy. Hausu pays no mind to logic, opting to prioritize surreal imagery fueled by primal and childish fears. All right, Hausu, 1977. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. If anybody has heard of that, or better yet, seen it, let me know. There's my baby Ava. She's on Facebook. She sends a heart right back at you. Right back at you. Jason says The Changeling with George C. Scott was spooky. Yeah. Yeah. Nice one. Nice creepy one. D says lighthearted haunted house movies. High Spirits. House. House 2. Okay, there you go. Yeah, for something a little bit more lighthearted, she says. Tracy says, doing fine after 2 sweat bees got me, Mr. Bonehead. Oh, no. What, did they get you while you were mowing? Or just a random sweat bee attack? You know? SBC says, I also cut my hair myself. The front looks very nice. In the back, not so much. Tracy says, small and feisty. Yes, they are. Bonus says, my wife always did it perfectly. I sure do miss her every day. I lost her in 2006 and it still hurts. Ah, and we're sorry. Sorry that happened, and we're glad that you can at least spend this time with us, and we can give you a little smile and brighten your spirits a little bit. SBC says, demonic watermelon versus killer tomatoes. Just an idea. Demonic watermelon. Yeah, that's, you know what? Now I understand Gallagher, his infatuation with destroying watermelon. Kind of like a Van Helsing, Van Gallagher, destroying the watermelon, the vampire, the stake through the heart. That's, I don't know. I've never thought about this before. I'm going to have to start thinking about it. There's something to this, folks. Stephanie says, hey, Jason, my mom seen The Changeling. Did she like it? Did you see it? Trying to see if I missed that, or if you said it and I forgot it already. I try not to do that, but and the rankings tonight are, according to Bonehead, number 1 D, number 2 Miss Stephanie Press, and number 3 SBC. Congratulations, people! Good, keep up the good work. That's neat that you guys can see that. I can't see the rankings, so very cool. Tracy says bushes trimming. Out doing some yard work. And those little sweat bees got you. That's not cool. So sorry, Bones, Stephanie says. Stephanie says, The House on Haunted Hill, The Haunted Mansion, both 2003 and 2023, and The Haunting, 1999. D says, Attack of the Killer Sweat Bees. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think they're, Tracy. Bonin says, Yin's guys and gals in the ChillerNight crew always put a smile on my skull and a warm, fuzzy feeling in my heart. Thank yous. Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. SBC says, sad to hear that. My condolences, Bonehead. Tracy says, not allergic, was nervous though. Yeah. You never know. You never know with those stings. All right, number 4 on WatchMojo.com's list of horror movies with haunted houses is the Amityville Horror, 1979, successful enough to spawn a franchise spanning almost 40 years. Now that I was not aware of. What do they have, like the Amityville Horror Part 8? I don't know, they could. Anything that's still making money. The Amityville Horror is an exhausting look into a dysfunctional family that moves into a house that really wants to remain vacant. Every character gets put through the ringer as the Amityville Horror unleashes flies, pig creatures, disembodied eyes, and blood-soaked walls to ensure there is something for everyone. You know, I remember reading a book when I was a kid, and I thought the book was really, really creepy, really creepy. Like, it gave me visualizing some of the stuff in there. It was a little more disturbing than the movie was for me as a kid, anyways. And normally it's the other way around when you're a kid watching this stuff. SBC says, what was the name of the film with the wheelchair in the haunted house? The Wheelchair in the Haunted House. I can't think off the top of my head. They're here, Tracy. I can't think off the top of my head. They're here, Tracy says, about the attack of the killer sweat bees. D says, yeah, they gotcha. D says, the Amityville Horror remake 2005 was such a disappointment. Yeah, I don't know how much they can keep doing with that. Maybe 20 years ago was the last thing they did with it. I don't know. 20 years ago. I remember going to the theater to see that, D. And it's crazy for me to think that that was 20 years ago. Wow, 2005 doesn't seem that long ago. Bonus says, thanks, Miss Stephanie. I lost her and our youngest son to a drunk driver. Thank you for the kind sentiment. It's very tragic, Bonnet. I'll wish you the best, and our condolences, of course. Jason says, Jay Anson's book scared the crap out of me, too. And I love the floor plan in the book to keep a mind's eye on what was going on. Yeah, and then the description of, like, I don't know, like the Red Room. Remember the Red Room? And the one, I don't know, there was just things in there as I'm reading it, you know, kind of stirred the imagination a bit. Because that was a big movie back then. I'll get that off there. You know, I seem to have lost my background. Wonder if we can get it back. There we go. There's one of them. What the heck? Huh. That's weird. Oh well. Looks like we're back on. The Changeling had a wheelchair in it. There you go. There you go, Jason. Wasp Woman, Tracy says. Yeah. Bonus says, sorry everyone, I don't want to bring everyone down. Oh, that's no, don't feel that way, Bonehead. Stephanie says, hey SB, that would be the Changeling. There you go. There you go. Instant answers here with this group. All right, so that was number 4 on WatchMojo.com's list. Number 3, The Conjuring, 2013. See, I knew I had seen that. That was brought up earlier. Directed by James Wan and based on the investigations of Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Conjuring is a tour de force of jump scares, costume design, and acting. Although it does take a page or two from classics like The Exorcist, The Conjuring stands on its own due to its earnest acceptance of the supernatural. 2 genuinely likable leads, an abrasive score, and excellent practical effects. All right, a little bit more, but I'll just move right along here. Now this next one, I mean, this is a given. Poltergeist, 1982. Of course. So I agree wholeheartedly with this one. Poltergeist, fantastic movie, 1982. All of the macabre visuals in the world cannot save a horror movie with boring or hateable characters. On the surface, what? Oh, okay. Okay. Then they're saying on the surface, Poltergeist might seem just like another haunted house movie about an unlucky family, but an able cast and some stellar writing bring to life a group of characters who are genuinely likable. I thought that they were insulting the movie, but all I had to do was continue on with the next 2 sentences. The horror is amplified because it features characters that many people want to see survive rather than just fodder to be taken out. Poltergeist is also packed with stunning and unsettling special effects that complement the horror elements rather than overshadow them. All right. Now they say here, before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Hell House LLC 2015, which was brought up earlier. House on Haunted Hill, which of course was brought up. The Innocents, 1961. I don't think that was brought up. The Innkeepers, 2011. 13 Ghosts, 1960. Okay. And number 1, let's see. Let me see where we're here now. Let me see. A bonus says, I've actually seen some of those movies, believe it or not, even though skulls don't have eyes. Okay. Bonus says, God put all aliens in my life, so I enjoy every week getting to share this time with aliens. The ChillerNight crew is awesome and the best. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Bonehead. And right back at you. Coffee is so expensive, Tracy says. Well, you're drinking that Starbucks pumpkin spice, so I would imagine. Yeah. Stephanie says, I've heard about the Warrens, and to be honest, I wouldn't mind if they were my neighbors. Okay, yeah. Probably have a few stories to tell. Bonin says, oh, Ghostbusters. D says, Bonin, so sorry. I was hit head on by a drunk driver, but I got lucky. Very fortunate. Tracy says, let me in, let me in. Stephanie says, I've seen 13 Ghosts, 1960. Bonin says, that is so sad to hear my grandfather had a painful open wound on his foot for the rest of his life after a drunk driver hit him. That is such a shame. Tracy says, no, by my hair of my chinny chin chin. Let me in. What's that from? Is that from? I'm missing something there. D says, no, let us out, let us out. I'm a haunted house. Okay, hey, number 1, WatchMojo.com's 10 best horror movies about haunted houses or haunted house horror movies, whatever you prefer, is, that's my drum roll, The Shining, 1980. Enjoyable, good movie. I don't know if that would have been my number 1, but definitely way up there. Despite initially garnering a few Razzie nominations, Stanley Kubrick's loose adaptation of Stephen King's novel has only seen its reputation grow over the decades. And I won't read the whole synopsis here because everybody has seen The Shining, I'm sure. Good creepy movie, good haunting atmosphere. Bonus says, God wants you to keep on living and be the wonderful, kind person that you are. He must have needed my wife and son up there. Hopefully one day I'll get to see them again and never have to part. I believe that's true. I believe that's true. Sorry, ChillerNight crew. I appreciate the kind words. Tracy says, red rum with The Shining. Yes. The Shining, I love The Shining, but it's a hotel, pish posh. Right? I mean, yeah, I know. I wouldn't have put it in the, at least the top 10. I wouldn't have definitely put it in as the number 1. Okay, of a haunted house horror movie themed list. But come play with us, Tracy says. Well, we are here. We are. It's 8:40, basically 8:40. Patty, if you're gonna watch this later, if you're watching this later, I wanted to bring up that Patty was very, very kind and sent me something last week for my birthday. It's some discs with some movies on it, and although Patty, I haven't got this. You got me 3 of them, and I thought even the packaging was very festive looking, kind of birthday-ish. Gave me a very nice handwritten card and some discs here that I thought was very, very nice of her to do. So Patty, if you are on here, maybe she'll show up later, or maybe she will be watching this at a later time. But thank you so much. That was very kind of you, and I very much appreciated. So thank you again there, Patty. Ava and I have not yet had time to watch it, but I maybe after Halloween I'll just make that time at that time to do that. But thank you so much for doing that. That's very nice of you. You're always very, very thoughtful. House was cool, Tracy says. Bonus says The Shining was a classic. Man, I really love that movie. Although some of the theories people come up with about Kubrick are way out there. Oh yeah? SBC said not haunted, but the house from Psycho is just iconic. You know, it's funny you would mention that because I almost got that to be the little, you know, image for the haunted house. And then I thought, oh, that's not haunted, but I thought of it. I thought of it because it is, like you say, just so iconic. Stephanie says, unfortunately, The Shining is the one thing I'm freaked out by. Oh, really? Tracy says the Munsters house. Okay, sure. Here's Johnny, she says. But it says, I watched that documentary, Room 237, and woo, some of the meanings about that movie's hidden agenda are, well, they'll amaze y'all. About The Shining? About The Shining? I mean, I definitely know a lot that's said about Eyes Wide Shut. Is that the name of the movie? I can't think of the title right now. Eyes Wide Shut. Tom Cruise. That was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting movie. So I don't know to hear about the like. Are you talking about a conspiracy theory on The Shining? That would be interesting because like The Shining was based off of a novel. I don't know who wrote Eyes Wide Shut. Am I even saying the right name of the movie? Let's see. I'm just looking it up. I try not to do this too much. Yeah, Eyes Wide Shut, 1999. And did Stanley Kubrick not die too long after this? In fact, was he even alive when it was released? I don't know. Let's see. He died in 1999. I don't know, folks. I don't know. What was the cause of Stanley Kubrick's death? Died of a heart attack. Okay. Oh, I know. You can get some conspiracy theory stuff out of that. I know for a fact because I've seen some of it. Not saying it's real, not true, or not saying it's not true. I don't know. Listen to it and decide for yourself. But it says, sorry to hear that, Miss Stephanie. It's a scary one for sure. The Shining. The Entity, SBC. The Entity, 1983. That one sounds real familiar. Yeah, The Entity. Interesting. All right, so we went down the 10 greatest horror haunted house movies according to WatchMojo.com. All right, some of those are pretty good. And now I will take this opportunity to mention my store at the Cranberry Mall in Venango County, Pennsylvania. Now in this, folks, we have some collectibles. We have some gifts, some of those Funko Pop figures. We have bendy figs. We have bobbleheads. We have T-shirts. There's the T-shirts. And there on the counter, actually, Jennifer Sadler was here. You can see with the green little tag in front of it was the ChillerNight book I was mentioning earlier. That's right in front of you. You can see the t-shirt rack kind of right there in front of you. You can see the witching hour uh, wall, or the front of the witch's house. And then behind that, you can kind of see a little bit of zombie outbreaks wall back there. And there is the witching hour. And there is zombie outbreak. You know, I don't know what's going on. I have not had too many people succeed. I wrote a post about that the other night, and I said within the last few months, it's actually been, I'll be honest, it's been this year, this whole year. I've not had too many successful, and that's strange because it's not a, neither one of those are extremely difficult, and they're not extremely easy. They are moderately, moderate escape rooms. There's there there was before. Now I'm going to have to redo the figures. It was like a 70, was it as high as 75%? It's up there, about 70% success rate, but not this year. This year's been bad. It's been tough on folks with the escape rooms. But we had a group go through Friday, and they made it through. I'm glad to see that. But it says, a movie that freaked me out was The Brood, especially whenever the lady gave birth to a something out of her leg, and yuck, that was horrible to watch whenever I was a kid. I think it would be, yeah. Sure. SBC said Ghost House, 1988. SBC says Bonehead. Yes, I remember that one. But it says, I remember a haunted Nazi freighter from Death Ship, 1980 movie. Was that just brought up not too long ago? That sounds familiar. In fact, somebody said, was it George Kennedy and Robert, guy who played in Rambo? The commander guy, Rambo's commander, said that they were on that movie. This was a couple weeks ago. I don't even know if I'm remembering right. Gosh, I hate to do this, but now I will not rest until I find the answer to this. Death Ship, 1980. And if I did happen to remember that, I have no idea how. Death Ship, 1980 came up right away. All right, the cast. Yeah, Richard Crenna, that's it. I couldn't think of the actor's name. The Rambos, and George Kennedy. Yes, those two were on it. I can't believe I remembered that. How did I remember that? Some things I somehow remember. Some things I read 5 comments ago that I don't remember. It's weird. Weird, the things that stick in there. Stephanie says, here's the funny part. I've always pictured my dream house as a big old house in New Orleans, Louisiana, with a rose garden in the front and a wraparound porch. Well, that does kind of seem like the perfect dream house. But it says, I remember Son of Dracula. It was set in Louisiana and had a southern plantation in it. Yeah. Count Alucard, which is Dracula spelled backwards. That clever Lon Chaney Jr. Richard Crenna Bonehead says, yeah. And yes, it was me who brought that movie up 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. I remember George Kennedy and Richard Crenna. I couldn't think of Richard Crenna's name, but I remembered the actor. Yeah, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how I remember that, but Bonehead says, it's weird, Brian, because that moron Bonehead brought it up. That is just so weird. Yeah. Oh, well. Well, we've got 10 minutes left, folks. Any other topic you want to you want to mention, talk about for 10 minutes? D says, Dead Alive, gross me out, a rarity. Oh, yeah. I will never look at custard pudding the same way again. Wasn't it Paul who brought that up once and he was trying to describe that? Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah. SBC said, Def Shep, I always have to laugh with this film because Adolf's speech and it doesn't fit the topic of the movie at all. Who all has seen Def Shep? I've never seen it. But now I would like to. And that's just like with Patty, very, very graciously sending me these DVDs, and I'm very thankful for that. Very nice card, very nice. But a lot of times I just I can't. I might have to wait until after Halloween to really say, oh yeah, I'll watch this or this, and and it's not like Patty's putting a time limit on it. You got to do this by a deadline. No, not at all. But it's just the thought that it was nice and I appreciate it. But yeah, it's sometimes difficult to for me to sit down and watch a movie. We tried to, like on a Saturday night, Ava and I will try to pick Ben to watch a movie. Bonin says, you remembered it, Brian, because I'm just really good at being totally irrelevant. Is that the stuff that sticks in my head? Irrelevant topics. SBC says, Hell Night. Hell Night. I've seen... What am I thinking of? What just came to mind? It was Night of the Demons. I don't know why. You said Hell Night, and for some reason, Night of the Demons popped into my head, which was that was a fun movie to watch. D says, I've seen Ghost Ship, but not Death Ship. Oh, yeah. Now, I've seen Ghost Ship. With that really... Is that the one that had that really crazy beginning of everyone getting severed in half? Well, depending if they were standing upright or not. Some of them met other fates. Jason says, Overlord. I don't think I've seen Overlord. Stephanie says, I've seen Ghost Ship 2D. Bonin says, Jason, you named a bunch of good ones there. Yeah, I did. SBC says, let me think, any famous horror films that will become public domain next year? I don't know. Where's Brad? Brad, if only he were here to tell us. Well, for 20, was it 2027? Well, I should know this. Now, I remember George Kennedy and Richard Crenna, but I don't remember the year Dracula and Frankenstein are public domain. I think he says every week it's 2027. SBC says, not next year, but in 2027, Dracula and Frankenstein becomes public domain. Now, who always says that? LOL. Yeah, there we go. Thanks for, you had my back there, Bonehead. He says, that opening scene, yeah. That was a crazy opening scene. Jason says, WW2 horror should be a topic. Real? Oh, well, let me write this down for next week. Mark out this one. All right, WW2 horror. And I hope you folks are okay in the manner in which I'm doing the shows here lately, just because I have no time to prep. I'll take a few minutes and throw an image up there or two, but Bonin says, somebody tell Brad I made his announcement for him this week. I would definitely tell him, yeah. He should have been here. See, he missed out. Stephanie says, I agree, D. I've heard of opening shockers, but yikes. All adults chop chop, but that little girl left standing there unscathed. I saw that one in the theater when it came out. I do remember that. But it says, scratch that. Don't say anything. Please ignore me and disregard anything I say. Thank you. What? Stephanie says, I love your t-shirt, Brian. Oh, thank you. Thank you. The Secret Wars Marvel character. Yeah, it's weird. It's a little, it's kind of crooked. I don't know. It's not centered in the shirt like it should be. It should be like over here. I know it's probably not real clear on the camera, but thank you. I like this one as well, Stephanie. Thank you. SBC says WW2 horror. Zudaisum time kan ik ignine LOL. What? I can imagine how much I chopped that up there, SBC. Dominic Johnson says, hey everyone, anyone seen Shockwaves with Peter Cushing? Another Nazi zombie movie. I don't know if I've seen that. It sounds familiar, and if I have, it was probably one of those old chiller theater viewings. You know, like when I was a kid, I saw so many. Sometimes I recognize the titles or the description. Sometimes I don't, and then sometimes I'll just be watching something and say, "Okay, I did see that when I was a kid." So, okay, but there's one that might be brought up next week, Dominic. Shockwaves. Another Nazi zombie movie. I have to write that one down. Nazi zombies. Jeez. How bad? How much worse can it get? Shockwaves was a great film, Jason says. Shockwaves is free on Amazon Prime, Jason says. Ah, very cool. D says, SBC translation, I can contribute a lot to this topic. Bonuses, bonuses SBC, there you go speaking French, and I ain't got no idea what you're saying, LOL. Oh, the translation. I can contribute a lot to this topic? Or are you, is that, you're joking? SBC, no, SBC says correct. Very cool. Bonus says, yep, I saw Shockwaves, great movie, also free on YouTube, Brian. Might have to check that one out. Brett says, hey, Brian. Hey, Brett, thanks for joining us. Well, we got a it's 8:59. Hope things are going well. I don't know if you're working tonight at the mall, but nonetheless, regardless, hope things are going good. Either way, well, I guess it's almost 9 o'clock, so you'd probably be done by now. Jason says John Carradine, Peter Cushing, and Brooke Adams from Invasion of the Body Snatchers 70s movie were in Shockwaves. That one, wouldn't it be cool if that was in the public domain? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I've not seen it when I've been looking through all these. But it is. It looks like we're coming up on the top of the hour. Another quick hour. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your input, your participation. And I find it very interesting, you know, if anybody brings up a movie or a topic, you know, so many of you out there, you're I know some of you are really such true horror movie fans because you respond so quickly with all these answers. So that's really cool. And I learn a lot watching or just listening to you guys, reading. SBC says The House Where Evil Dwells, 1982. Brett says, yep, I'm home. Yeah, I figured after I said that, I thought, oh, wait a minute, he'd be home by now. But it says, SBC, I know you're texting German. I just wanted to see if anyone would think, what a dumb as I am, LOL. SPC says, take care, y'all. See you next week. Jason says, excellent show as always. Thank you for doing this. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Dominic says, good night, everyone. Good night, Dominic. Thanks, Brian, for doing this every week. Dominic says, oh, you're very welcome. Venice says, thanks again, Brian and ChillerNight crew, for another great and awesome show. You guys are the best. Thank you very much, Bunhead. SPC says, horror house. There's another one. Okay, so thank you, everybody. Thank you, one and all, for joining myself and each other for another fun-filled, frightening night of ChillerNight Live. So, until next Tuesday, have a good night. Have a good ChillerNight. We'll see you.